Hello, everybody. We are Tim Jeeves and Lena Šimić, and we are going to take you through our journey about being counselor artists.
Hi, everyone.
So we have prepared a presentation that we will take you through. And our journey started when we got together in a collective called Artists for Corbyn. Tim, would you tell us a bit about this adventure?
I'd love to, Lena. So Artists for Corbyn came about when Jeremy Corbyn got elected as leader of the Labour Party in 2015. And we, along with a group of other artists, decided to write a letter expressing our support for him and put out a call for other artists to sign that letter. And there was about, I think, around 2,500 people responded and asked to have their names added. So from that, we then started making a banner.
A banner?
A banner.
Okay.
And on that banner, I'll just get up the slide if I can. So we met on a sunny day in Liverpool, outside the Museum of Liverpool, and wrote out all these 2,500 names onto the banner, as you can see that we're doing here.
Wow.
Yes, it took pretty much a whole day. There was quite a gang of us. Yeah, that was a little song. 2,382. That was wow. the number of signatures that were added then, and more were sort of added after that initial signing. So we did that, and then after the banner had actually been made, we started taking it out during the general election campaign in 2017, and on what we called marginal Sundays, where we take it to marginal seats around the country. Do you want to tell us a bit about them, Lena?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as Tim already said, marginal Sundays, and first of all, the campaign for 2017 general election, we took the banner to Chester. That's it. That's us in Chester. And then we also took the banner to Hebden Bridge, because Hebden Bridge area is one of the marginal seats where it's always in between Labour and Tories. Unfortunately, Tories hold this seat even now.
Is that the Hebden Bridge?
Yes, this was in Hebden Bridge, this particular photograph. Oh yes, and this is me campaigning together with Maxine Peake in Warrington. And then next. Oh, this was us in Blackpool North, which is another constituency that is marginal. So we decided to kind of employ the art and interventions and go around these marginal places and bring a bit of joy about the possibility of a different society and different kind of engagement as well with each other. And then we have...
What was your favourite moment in Blackpool?
Oh, it's coming up, it's coming up. This is it. This is us in Southport.
Was it Southport?
Yes, Southport, another marginal seat. Could you please play this video?
I will.
As you can see, it's very, very windy. Tim is struggling to keep hold of this Artists for Corbyn banner, and we are trying to make an effective change. Obviously, passers-by are wondering, what are these people doing? But in a way, that is how we can engage through art and intervention in politics. So that was our fantastic adventure in Southport. Unfortunately, again, Southport is still a tourist seat, which is quite disappointing. It has been in 2015 and in 2017 and 2019 now again. Yeah. We can move on now.
Okay. So as well as the Marginal Sundays, also went to some picket lines, I believe, with the banner. Do you want to tell us about them?
Yes, so this is with RMT, picket line with RMT, with which was together with our constituency, which is called Liverpool Walton, and we are Labour Party constituency with Walton. So we were bringing our banner to all different kind of picket lines. This particular campaign was to keep the guards on the train, which is extremely important for passenger safety, and of course for the protection of jobs, but also the passenger safety, so that there is always a guard on the train. This one is close to our own workplace. This is for the UCU, for the union, for the college and the lecturers, college and university lecturers. And this was this particular strike was about pensions, and this is at University of Liverpool. So we would bring our Artists for Corbyn banner into these picket lines as well. This one is for Camel Airs workers, and this is a combination of unions. It was Unite and Unison, I believe, and also was the third union there? I think it was because these workers are represented by a variety of unions. So here it was for their pay conditions again. So we were again trying to bring a bit of activism and hope and fun as well, joy, with Artists for Corbyn banner. This is, as you can see, in winter months. This was actually my birthday, 29th of November, this particular day. This one was, I wasn't at this one. I think this was for Arriva. It's for bus drivers and their struggle again. So in a way, it's like, you know, it's important that we as artists are also engaged with all other workers, because we are after all workers as artists, and that we are engaged with workers' struggles, and that we understand what's going on and what situations and difficulties other workers are having. So this one is particular with bus drivers, Arriva bus drivers in this one.
I think it's worth saying, so I think with perhaps the exception of UCU, which is still ongoing, all these strikes were successful, weren't they, as well? The bus drivers got the pay rise that they were asking for. There wasn't the redundancies at Camel Airs, and the RMT did get it agreed to keep the guard on the train. So
yes,
quite hopeful.
We can't quite claim that it was because of Artists for Corbyn, but we were there, you know, supporting the struggle. What's this?
This is the Stansted 15 on International Migrants Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was International Migrants Day, and this was kind of a solidarity campaign. So this wasn't a picket line, it was more like a kind of a solidarity with Stansted 15, with 15 people who were then put on trial because they stopped the airplane that was going to deport a number of migrants. They stopped it from taking off. So then they were trials. So we were, you know, in solidarity with the 15, Stansted 15.
It's perhaps worth just going back to the banner and the signatures as well, and maybe just worth saying that Maxine Peake wasn't perhaps the most famous person who actually signed the banner.
No, she wasn't. here we have our dear Jeremy Corbyn. He came as well, and then he signed the banner, and this was in Everton, just where we live nearby. There he is, walking. We put a banner for him to walk on, and then, you know, we asked him to sign it, and he did, which was a very nice encounter indeed. Moving on, we are 10 minutes in.
Okay. So Jeremy signed the banner really after we had started to get quite involved with the Walton CLP, the constituency Labour Party that you mentioned, Lena, because I suppose our involvement with that grew out of the 2017 election campaign. You got elected as the political education officer in that first year of 2017 to 2018, and embarked on a programme of a whole range of different stuff, which included this visit to the Walker Art Gallery. I don't know if you want to talk us through some of the other things that we did.
I think we will have to move on. There's some other interesting stuff, but it's just to say that, you know, we very much were involved in Liverpool Walton CLP. So Tim also as a treasurer, and me later as a chair as well. So this is a great photo here of Tim performing as you can see, Theresa May. Those were the days. And here we had a water balloon fight. This is me performing water balloon. Yeah, this is me performing with a group of women activists, all labor activists, and we were doing vagina monologues for International Women's Day in 2019. Oh yes, Tim, you tell us about this adventure. This was quite special and very much links between kind of pushing some of the art and activism and intervention, and then making it towards a change in policy.
Yeah. So this was an intervention that we made at the same time as Labour Party conference in 2018, at the end of 2018, where we went out to do a performance on a boat at the Burbo Bank wind farm. So this is a view from our boat that we hired for the day and went out to do the performance. This is a scene from us, you know, enacting the script that had been written by James from Platform. Yes, so we did that out there, and then when we came back, there was also a parallel to Labour Party conference. There was a festival called The World Transformed, which is a programme of speakers and art and music and all kinds of wonderful things. And we did a workshop exploring what we'd done on the performance. So this is kind of after the performance. And it really, you know, the key thing to the performance was this idea that, you know, the transition to renewable energy doesn't need to be in the hands of private companies, but the wind belongs to us all, and so that transition should belong to us all.
Yeah, this is a great moment. I remember one of my favorite moments as a chair of Walton CLP, and when Tim presented us with public energy motion. So it's an idea that we change policy and that we actually have public energy. And as you can see, all of our members of Walton CLP voted for it. And for us, living in Liverpool, it would be really good if we could harvest that energy, that energy that's just out there in at Burbo Bank, which is kind of in Liverpool Bay, if all that wind and as the energy is being harnessed right now, but that it was publicly owned as well, because at the moment it's owned by a Danish company called Ørsted. So it's not in the hands of the people. And the idea is that, you know, we as people should possess the wind. So yeah, we are hopeful that this will happen once we have Labour government.
When it comes. When it comes. It's worth saying as well that what everyone's holding up there is a booklet that we produced to document the performance that kind of included information about the performance, the script from the performance, as well as the motion that was passed that Lena just mentioned, you know, calling on the council and for the argument to be made in favour of that public ownership of the wind. So then after sort of being involved with the CLP, the local Labour Party, for a good while. In 2019, we took the next step and both became councillors. Oh, this is just another photo. This is the sail that was used in the performance in an exhibition in a local sort of pop-up art gallery with a local group of artists who run a space called Dead Pigeon Gallery that moves around different spaces. So then we became councillors, and this is you.
Yeah, this is our campaign photos that we can have a quick look at.
Yep, like winning votes, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yes, it's important to say. I have to look at my notes for this. But Tim's election, not my one. Tim, give us your picture there. There is Tim there in the middle, and he got 6,276 votes, which is incredible for local elections. I mean, I only got 1,448, and Tim had 86.36% majority, and he is in a ward of Clubmoor, which is again in Walton, in North Liverpool. So this was a by-election when Tim won his seat, which was also at the same time general election. So that's why there was a massive turnout of voters.
It wasn't just my campaigning that got that turnout.
No, but it is still a celebratory moment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And go on. We have to move on. We have very few minutes left.
Oh, so then this is you delivering your maiden speech in the council chambers. We've got a little video of that as well, I think. So get that started. Oh.
Let's see.
There we go.
Built in the Bay over the coming years. Why cannot the Merseyside Pension Fund pay for this? Let us be ambitious. And of course, we work with the unions. We rely on the use of local labor in this green transformation. We rethink the way we organize the system, and we live happier lives. We breathe in cleaner air. We breathe. The planet is ours to enjoy, not to exploit. Now or never react. And the future exists in your imagination already. Young people told us here that it's happening.
I'll stop that just because of the
time. No, that's fine. So I think one of the main reasons why we got involved in local government or in politics is because of our desire to live in a different world and to kind of help stop climate change and to kind of try to imagine a difference in the world when we can. As I speak here, in the town hall, I was talking about, just breathing, breathing in the cleaner air. Clean air is one of the major issues here in Liverpool, for example, and this is something that, we are still having to fight for, which is a crucial human right, really, clean air. So because of all of this, we are also involved in, Tim, please tell us about.
Yeah, another group linking in with the sort of mainstream politics is the Merseyside branch of Labour for a Green New Deal that's very much pushing for that transition to the better society that you were just talking about there, Lena. This is from the climate strikes last year, I think, probably around this time last year, actually, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was for September, wasn't it? This was September, 25th of September, global strike, climate strike. These are my children that have been indoctrinated from very early age and that are, obviously going there and are striking for the planet. And finally, we have one more minute, and we are going to tell you quickly about our ward artist manifesto that we've developed.
So we'll be very brief. It grew out of a workshop that we did through the Live Art Development Agency's DIY scheme, which was over 2 weekends, a group of artists to talk about the possibilities for artistic intervention into mainstream politics and more everyday life. So the first weekend was spent in Liverpool, where we went to this place amongst others, Kitty's Laundrette, which is a sort of cooperatively owned laundrette, community laundrette that artists set up. We also went down to London, including a visit to the House of Commons. So this is from the House of Commons terrace. That's being very fancy. And what came out of the weekend was a manifesto for ward artists. This idea that councillors are the elected representatives of the smallest kind of political unit of a ward, and what could happen if they were to commission artists to make art about the ward. So it was a kind of a proposal for a manifesto for how wards and councillors around the country, how people could approach their councillors and look to get this started. And this is something that we were just starting to do really when the current sort of coronavirus pandemic hit and everything's got a bit turned upside down. So that commissioning process has obviously been a little bit put on hold, or we'll need to look at how it can be adapted perhaps, depending what happens over the months ahead.
Yeah, so this is for us one of the projects that we as councillors and artists want to do is for our wards. I represent Anfield and Tim represents Clubmore, and what we would like to do, and I've already secured some funding for this in Anfield, is to actually have a commission, an artist who will look at the ward and its representation and residents and social issues, and then create an art project that is based in that ward. So it's quite an exciting thing for us to do as councillor artists. And this is where we are at the end of our journey, I think. And at almost 22 minutes, I think it's about time for us to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.